where you'll find more movies. But it's a one...
For us. Thanks a lot for joining us.
We'll see you back here at 10. Have a good night.
Right now, get an Arby's hot ham and cheese sandwich for just $1.49. That's a hot ham and cheese sandwich, only $1.49, and only at Arby's.
With blockbuster video stores popping up all over, there's only one place where you'll find more movies. But it's a 1,875-mile drive. Blockbuster Video. Opening soon in Eagan and at Grand and Lexington.
I don't mind if I get wet.
Every morning, rain or shine, Ben Crawford shoots hoops. It makes him feel better.
I try not to hit the garage door. It bugs the neighbors.
Eating a Chiquita banana every morning with some coaching from Mom also makes him feel better. Its vitamin C and potassium help him give the day his best shot.
Maybe one day, they'll name a sneaker after me.
Chiquita bananas, quite possibly the world's perfect food.
Escape for Men. Calvin Klein, exclusively at Dayton's.
What to do when a husband becomes a couch potato?
At 3. Good evening. I'm Florence Henderson. In 1969, 3 events occurred that changed mankind. A man landed on the moon. 500,000 people got...
Rated PG. Now on sale wherever videos are sold.
Thanks for taking a swing at Channel 5's Beat the Pro Golf Tournament. Your efforts, together with top athletes and Beat the Pro sponsors, helped raise nearly $19,000 for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Minneapolis and St. Paul.
And we couldn't have done it without you. Hi, I'm Joe Schmidt. Next year, we are going to be back on 10 great golf courses for another year of Beat the Pro for a great cause.
Yeah! We're Channel 5 and we're on your side.
How do you catch the bride's bouquet?
A fast shutter speed and small aperture.
Where should the mother-in-law stand?
Wherever she wants.
How can business voice messaging from US West help you?
I don't know.
You can't be an expert on everything. Business voice messaging answers your phone when it's busy or you're away. It can even notify you by pager when you're out of the office. After all, you know photography.
My favorite shots are the ones that no one knows I'm taking.
And we know phones. The small business group at US West.
This is KSTP, Channel 5, St. Paul, Minneapolis. Straight ahead from your 24-hour news channel. This is Eyewitness News at 10.
Did you inhale? I did.
You did inhale. Oh, thank God.
Andy Dawkins won the DFL endorsement in St. Paul, but now the candidate for mayor has a new label, pot smoker. That's our top story tonight. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. A front-runner for St. Paul mayor says it's hard to avoid smoking marijuana.
Andy Dawkins has done it in the last 5 years. Drugs suddenly became an issue this afternoon during a free-for-all debate at the KSTP studios. Talk show host Barbara Carlson asked the St. Paul candidates to hold up a sign, yes or no. Have they smoked marijuana in the last 5 years? Dawkins was the only yes.
I really don't think that in this day and age you can be a citizen that lives in this state without being somewhere where someone smokes some marijuana. And I
did
don't
you
have.
inhale?
I did.
You did inhale. Oh, thank God. Tonight after the debate, Dawkins attended a fundraiser and said he doesn't think it'll hurt his campaign.
I don't think that's really a relevant issue for deciding this election because, like I said, the president, the vice president, a lot of people that are my age, and I just wanted to be honest instead of dishonest.
The debate among St. Paul candidates was the first in a series of debates on KSTP AM this afternoon.
Next came the candidates for Minneapolis mayor, and again, Barbara Carlson threw out all the usual rules of decorum at these debates.
Why
Why should people believe you would act any differently in City Hall than you did on the county board, where you were known for cronyism, bullying staff, and being out of touch with your constituents?
But get to the bad part.
There may have been some laughter, but it was clearly an uncomfortable hour as Carlson asked questions like, which candidates have had recent speeding tickets?
Sharon Self, oh, my heavens! Oh, this is a fast group. Belton has gotten one. Woodley has gotten one. Anderson has gotten one. Rapson's gotten one. Ruff has gotten one. Iverson, McDonald, and Callahan. Wow! Do they like to break the law in Minneapolis?
In the style of her radio show, Carlson dug out rumors and innuendo to confront the candidates.
City Hall scuttlebutt is that you play hardball like an old Chicago politician, despite your sweet-as-apple-pie public image.
She said Sharon Sells Belton's been accused of intimidating city employees out of supporting other candidates.
Never, 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 never. Whoever said it is telling a lie. Ooh, it's going to get nasty. I can see it coming right now.
It did get nasty when Councilmember Steve Kramer said Minneapolis residents haven't actually had to pay more taxes for city services in the last 2 years. John Woodley disagreed.
Don't listen to this bureaucratic mumble-jumble. I mean, we've got the intellectual elite here trying to tell us that our taxes haven't gone up. They have, people, and you all know it, and I know it, because we're paying them.
Most candidates talked about the need to end mismanagement and make neighborhoods safer. And by the end of the program, at least one candidate was fed up with Carlson's style of conducting debates.
One of the problems here is that shows like this at times can really demean the political process. Everybody up here has worked hard, made real sacrifices. I haven't spent any time with Anna this summer at all, and that's hard for me.
I know,
and I've done it to try to be public servant, and we don't like to be demeaned.
Now, on the marijuana issue, Carlson wasn't as specific with the Minneapolis candidates as she was with those from St. Paul. She asked who had ever smoked marijuana, not just in the last 5 years. Of the major candidates, only Sharon Sayles Belton and John Woodley said yes. By the way, the primaries in both cities are this Tuesday.
Tomorrow will be a historic day as two of the world's most bitter enemies agree on a peace initiative. The Israelis and the Palestinians will sign a peace accord allowing Palestinians limited self-rule in occupied territories. Now, earlier today, Yasser Arafat arrived in Washington, D.C. He hasn't been to the United States in 20 years. Tomorrow, Arafat will take part in a landmark ceremony on the White House lawn. So will Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, who left Israel this morning. Workers at the White House have been busy making last-minute preparations. 2,500 people will be on hand for the event, including former Presidents Bush and Carter. Well, the prospect of peace is literally the talk of the world. Here in the Twin Cities, hopes are high in both the Islamic and Jewish communities. Reporter Ross Curtis brings us local reaction to Mideast peace.
It is a call for prayer at the Minnesota Islamic Center. But today, there are prayers of gratitude that there is finally a plan for peace.
The first step to recognize each other and realize that we are humans and we have the full right to exist, whether it's a Jew or a Palestinian.
But there is also concern among Twin City Muslims whether Palestinians will ever be able to achieve self-rule.
There can be no peace really without justice. If there is justice, then this agreement can be a first step and can last. Otherwise, it will be just a blip on the road to more war.
To avoid war, they are praying for the two sides to cooperate and keep the peace.
The feeling is much the same here at the Jewish Community Center. They're calling this a good start, but also say the real test is yet to come.
It's not the end. What it is a real step towards people learning to live with each other and accept each other and recognize the need to be participants in a peace process rather than a hostile one.
The Jewish community still has concerns about Palestinian uprisings and Israel's security. But when the agreement is signed Monday, they'll be cheering in the Twin Cities.
Maybe we're beginning to see the end of the tunnel in an area that for 3,000 years has had struggles in terms of neighbors and people living with each other. And I think that's so important.
Ross Curtis, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
And tomorrow, the St. Louis Park Jewish Community Center will host a special celebration in honor of the signing. Well, ABC and Channel 5 will team up tomorrow to bring you complete live coverage of the historic peace accord. At 7 a.m., Good Morning America will bring you the latest on preparations and security at the White House. The peace accord is going to be signed at 10 a.m. Central Time. ABC News will bring it to you live. And at 5 and 6, we will head back out live to Washington for a reaction to the day's historic events. So please stay tuned to Channel 5 all day tomorrow for complete peace accord coverage.
A desperate search is on at this hour for an elderly Alzheimer's patient who wandered away from a St. Paul nursing home. 82-year-old Robert Karen vanished 8 hours ago from the Bethesda Lutheran Care Center located on Capitol Boulevard. Karen is 5'4", 130 pounds, and wearing a blue-green running suit with white tennis shoes. Here you see a picture of him now. If you see this man who appears lost near the Capitol area, please call St. Paul Police. A Shoreview man is dead tonight, and his son is in custody for the fatal stabbing. It happened in a home along the 800 block of West County Road F. That's north of Highway 694 and east of 35E. 57-year-old Gerald Lucian Backer died from a knife wound to the chest. His 24-year-old son, Gerald William Backer, was arrested at the scene.
The situation has not yet been reviewed by the county attorney's office. We expect to present this to him no later than Tuesday for formal charging.
Now, the suspect is hospitalized in a local psychiatric ward. A 14-year-old boy is expected to be charged tomorrow for the murder of a Lino Lakes group home worker. Dawn Halderson was shot to death Friday morning. She was working the overnight shift at this home when a bullet tore through a front window and hit her in the head. The teen is also accused of firing at a nearby house and at a pickup truck. A 29-year-old woman living near the murder scene is accused of helping the teen hide from police.
Our look at the world tonight begins in Miami, where 3 tourist attackers face more criminal charges. The Chicago businessman has identified the trio as the people who robbed and shot at him one day before a German tourist was fatally wounded while driving on a Miami highway. Also today, Florida Governor Lawton Chiles asked for 50 additional federal agents to help protect visitors in his state.
0 and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery. Launching the next generation.
At Cape Canaveral, the crew of the Space Shuttle Discovery finally blasted off into orbit. 5 previous launches had been scrubbed, one just 3 seconds before liftoff. The 10-day mission includes a spacewalk, and the crew will send 2 satellites into orbit. And in Cleveland, Ohio, Interstate 90 was closed for several hours this morning when 30,000 pounds of pork went up in flames. The tractor trailer carrying the meat got a flat tire, and when the driver pulled over, he noticed smoke pouring out of the back. Firefighters from 3 cities put out the flames. No one was injured. You almost have to wonder if it just smelled like bacon all over the city.
I bet it did. Still ahead, what turns grown adults into giddy kids? I bet I know the answer to that. It's the home opener of the Vikings football season. We'll check out the cast of characters.
Also to Russia with love, Muscovites flock to see superstar Michael Jackson. And a little later on, if you've got $1.8 million, if we get a home for you.
And since it's going to be feeling like fall around here, I thought I'd give you an idea when to expect peak fall colors. Minnesota and western Wisconsin. The AccuWeather 5 forecast is on the way.
How hot is lightning? What'll the cloud up in the sky?
Learning about the weather is fun when you watch From Rainbows to Radar, Dave Dahl's AccuWeather class. Dave's weather class will teach you fun facts about meteorology and show you easy weather experiments, like how to make your own tornado. So watch From Rainbows to Radar, Dave Dahl's AccuWeather class with your whole family, Saturday morning at 9:30 on Channel 5. Sponsored by Golden Plump Chicken and Wendy's Old Fashioned Hamburgers.
How do you catch the bride's bouquet?
A fast shutter speed and small aperture.
Where should the mother-in-law stand?
Wherever she wants.
How can business voice messaging from US West help you?
I don't know.
You can't be an expert on everything. Business voice messaging answers your phone when it's busy or you're away. It can even notify you by pager when you're out of the office. After all, you know photography.
My favorite shots are the ones that no one knows I'm taking.
And we know phones. The small business group at US West.
Maybe there's a good reason bank ads all sound alike. They're all saying the same thing. But at your local First Star Bank, we have something rather noteworthy to announce. We have quite a bit of money to lend to qualified borrowers, and at a very attractive rate. Call or visit your local First Star office. We're not like the other banks.
In the next 30 seconds, more people will buy Ford cars and trucks than any other. It's a fact. World-class quality is why 5 of the top 10 bestsellers in America are Fords. Like America's best-selling car, the Ford Taurus, now with up to $2,000 in savings. Or America's best-selling truck, the Ford F-Series, with up to $1,800 in savings. All of our bestsellers have big savings because it's Ford factory-authorized clearance time. How will you spend the next 30 seconds? If you're like many Americans, you'll spend them driving a new Ford. See your Northland Ford dealer today.
Well, this is the day Minnesota football fans have been waiting for, the Vikings home opener.
Yeah, and what better way to open the home season than with those divisional rivals, the Bears. The Chicago-Minnesota game always brings out the zaniness in fans, and as I found out, that certainly was the case today. Strike up the band, it's time for another NFL season, and in Minnesota that means a lot of purple and a lot of silly hats.
Hey! Kickoff for today's game. Do it!
A new season brings new enthusiasm and new optimism.
Oh, I think that the Vikings are going to go all the way to the Super Bowl.
Okay, let's not put the cart ahead of the horse here. First, the Vikes have to conquer another animal.
Vikes versus the Bears. Game day lineup here. Program.
Oh, yes, the dreaded Bears, one of Vikes fans' most hated rivals. Who's going to win today and why?
Do you even have to ask that question? The Vikings are going to win. They just superior talent, superior city.
Speaking of cities, these Vikes fans flew all the way from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania to be here today.
We'll talk to you first. What brings you all the way from Pennsylvania for a Vikes game?
A DC-10.
You know what I meant.
We're diehard Vikes fans, right? We're coming win or lose.
But who's this guy with a Vikes hat and a Bears shirt?
I'm a Dolphins fan. I'm here on vacation.
But today was certainly no vacation for a former Bears QB.
I'm looking for him to have his best outing today. He's gonna, he got to prove something since he had a bad game last week. So.
But every game's a new beginning, and every season different than the one before.
Oh, I'm psyched up about the season. I'm psyched up about the whole year. I'm psyched up about the Vikings. Yeah, go purple. I'm just basically psyched out. That's all I am.
And at the end of the game, there were also plenty of reasons for Vikes fans to be psyched, but we'll let Joe Schmidt tell you about that a little later on in the newscast.
Well, if you're looking for a way to get rich, here's a hint. Try the entertainment field. Oprah Winfrey is at the top after the show raked in a whopping $170 million for the past 2 years. Now, Oprah owns the show, and she personally took in $98 million during that time. Movie director Steven Spielberg made $72 million. Comedian Bill Cosby is in third with $66 million. Heavy metal band Guns N' Roses is fourth at $53 million over 2 years. And rounding out the top 5 is Minnesota's own Prince at $49 million. Or whatever he calls himself now. Now, one megastar who's not on the list, Michael Jackson. The question tonight is Russia ready for the gloved one? Jackson arrived in Moscow today, and while his Russian fans may not understand the lyrics, they do love the beat. Still, with ticket prices ranging from $11 to $111, sales are so slow that concert promoters are giving thousands of them away.
Well, a little bit more of a mellow performer at the State Theater in Minneapolis tonight. That's Mark Cohen, and he put on quite a show. He's probably best known for the song Walking in Memphis, the tune honoring the late Elvis Presley. Part piano player and part crooner, Cohen's touring the country to help promote his new album. And I just love his music. He has just a pure, gorgeous voice.
Walking in Memphis was one of my favorites, yeah.
Good song.
Well, let's see now. It's been cool and then warm, wet and dry. Minnesota's caught on a weather roller coaster.
Yeah, meteorologist Chris Grote will be in next with the back-to-school forecast, plus a look at some pyrotechnic beauty. Stay with us.
Wizards. They advise kings, conquer dragons, amaze us all. Now this wizard lends his name to Wizard of Oz, the new $2 instant game from the Minnesota State Lottery. The crystal ball could double your prize up to $20,000. That's how big-hearted wizards are. And when one says he'll turn you back into a human once you finish a commercial, he really means it, right? Come on, I was just kidding about your hat.
Having trouble coming to terms with the new car you really want? Well, now your Lincoln Mercury dealer makes it easy.
Now lease Mercury Sable for only $269 a month for 24 months, or buy and get $1,000 cash back. Either way, Sable features the most fuel-efficient V6, 6-passenger comfort, standard dual airbags, and more. So lease for $269 or buy and get $1,000 cash back.
See, now coming to terms has never been easier. See your Lincoln Mercury dealer today.
Ask for Edwigan's paint from Menards. Choose from Edwigan's flat latex interior or exterior paint. On sale now for just $8.79 per gallon after mail-in rebate. Give your home a new look with Benson maintenance-free shutters. They add style with the look of real wood. Available in white, black, or brown, starting at $9.98 a pair. Make Menards your home improvement center and save.
Save big money at Menards.
Even if you can afford some of life's luxuries, you still need a way to get them home. Which is why the Isuzu Trooper comes with a cavernous amount of cargo space. 90.2 cubic feet to be exact.
850, known bid 850. Masha, sold to the gentleman in the blue blazer.
Plus, it's got a rather large towing capacity. The Isuzu Trooper, practically amazing.
Well, time now for weather. We were talking about it before the show. I'm sick. The director, Dom, up there in the booth, is feeling sick. I'm wondering if this kind of hot, cold, lowering the resistance thing is catching up with people. Yeah.
Is this the medical segment?
Dr.
Dr. Groot?
But it's been so kind of warm and cold, and then you don't know, do I wear a jacket, do I not? And it's making a lot of people kind of getting that fall cold.
Hot and cold. The weather roller coaster continues in the other direction as we get into the work week. We had a decent weekend. Yeah. It's going to be downright crummy over the next couple of days. People will be hauling out the sweaters, the medium-sized jackets, and umbrella. Probably mandatory tomorrow. Will make good sense. Make sure the kids have their rain gear on. Since it's starting to feel like fall, I've even noticed trees starting to change color in my own backyard. Some of the stress trees, the ones that, you know, might have a couple of bugs or something like that, or maybe one of our colds, right, Inga? Starting to turn already. The peak fall color in the Twin Cities right around early October, within 3 weeks from now over much of central Minnesota. Next week, the North Shore, Grand Marais, up to International Falls, reaching their peaks. And here in southeastern Minnesota, southern Wisconsin, mid-October is when the colors really reach their peak, especially along the Mississippi River Valley there between the states. Earlier this evening, out in Loring Park, color of a different sort. Pyrotechnic art. Colorful nonetheless. I swore I wouldn't use the kids don't try this at home line, but I think I gotta. Okay, outside in the Twin Cities right now this evening, kind of warm, humid even, 76 degrees, 68 is the dew point, 76% is the relative humidity. The winds have been blowing all weekend long. Still from the south at 13 miles an hour, and the barometric pressure beginning to rise a little bit into the almanac today. 84 and 55, no precipitation. To note, that could change by morning. Sunrise and sunset times on the morrow, 6:49 and 7:29. Satellite pictures, please. Quick look at some clouds beginning to whiten and brighten over Nebraska. These are thunderstorms. They will move into our neck of the woods. There's lots of cold air up here. Williston right about there. Drizzle and 35. That could mean snow by morning. Tomorrow, here's a cold front. As soon as you notice the wind shift to the northwest, that means this cold air will begin to dump in. Temperatures over northwestern Minnesota will stay in the 40s all day long. We'll have a mix of showers and thunderstorms, no severe weather, but this big temperature contrast, well, with the northwesterly wind, it's blowing that air our way. High temperatures tomorrow should hold in the mid-60s. If we hit 60 on Tuesday, we'll have to consider that lucky. The forecast details overnight tonight. 60 with showers and thunderstorms developing by morning. When you wake up, it could be kind of wet. Kids may need the umbrella. 62 in the morning, 65 at a midday temperature, and I can envision temperatures falling off in the afternoon, scattered shower storms. Some rain into Monday night, rain into Tuesday morning, and maybe 58 in the afternoon, showers favoring the morning. A dry midweek, definitely fall-like with highs 58 on Tuesday, 65 on Wednesday with a little more sun. It's that time of year. Big temperature swings when you get these little bumps of cold air moving in and then things get pushed back into Canada.
A lot of gray in that outlook.
So I didn't get it. Your prescription for Inga then, Dr. Groot?
2 aspirin, call me in the morning.
Days off.
Thanks.
That's right. Coming up next in sports, Pistol Pete Sampras goes gunning for another U.S. Open title.
Yeah, plus the Vikings take aim at the Bears for their first win of the season. Joe Schmidt has it all coming up next.
The whole deal is for my ideas to go where I can't. I want to share my ideas.
I need to work with other people.
What I want at this company is a computer network.
A partner to make it work.
What we need is a computer network that allows us to share information in different departments, different buildings, different cities.
A computer is only a box. It's not more boxes we need. It's a network.
It could work.
Enterprise Networking Services from U.S. West connects and maintains LANs and computer networks. For information, call 800-DATA-USW.
No matter what the car, you need an oil you can count on and a price you can bank on every day.
At Walmart, we're here to help you with both.
With Quaker State Motor Oil for easy
starts in the widest temperature range. Choose Quaker State's Synquest. It's one tough motor oil.
And at Walmart, you'll always save on what you put into your car.
No matter when you drop in. Walmart. Always the low price. Always.
The reason for coming to Texas was to teach at the law school and also to raise our boys in a more rural place. We needed a pickup. The 5% we earned with our GM MasterCard helped us get one. We use the truck to haul our cows, our kids. They love Texas life. There's lots of room for them to run around. We exclusively use the GM MasterCard now. We're earning 5% toward our next car. Another pickup would be nice.
The GM card with no annual fee. To apply, call 1-800-8GM-CARD.
New Double Power Whisk versus Tide Ultra. Whisk is concentrated really thick. Tide is thin by comparison. They both wash the same amount of laundry, so how come there's so much more Tide? Because you need more Tide to wash as much as Whisk. See, Whisk is more powerful, it's thicker, and the fact is, new Whisk even cleans better. Introducing concentrated Double Power Whisk. It's smaller, thicker, it cleans better than Tide.
Well, as we saw, you were outside the Metrodome for the home opener today. That looked like a lot of fun, but it got even better inside.
That's right, and that's where Joe Schmidt was, but now he's at the Sunday Sports Wrap set getting ready for the show. Hi, Joe.
How you guys doing? Hey, it's a win. Yep. It wasn't pretty,
Big
but
double,
it's a
yeah.
win. And you're not going to win a lot of football games when you only score 10 points. But the Vikings did even their record at 1-1 with a 10-7 win over the Bears. For the Vikings, this was a must game. They could not afford to go into the bye week without a win. Well, the Vikings offense turned the ball over only once today, and it turned into 7 points for Chicago. Roger Craig fumbled in the first quarter. The Bears turned it into a touchdown, led 7-0. The Viking offense did get things going in the second quarter. Watch Barry Word run over Mark Carrier here. The Vikings, though, were stopped short after 16 plays because of a couple of holding penalties. They did finally get a touchdown on the board when Jim McMahon hooks up with Chris Carter. Carter ad-libbed on the pass pattern, and Mac fired a strike, 10-7 Vikes. McMahon hit 23 out of 29 for 173 yards. From there, the Harry Newsom punting and the Viking defense kept Chicago in bad field position. The Vikings beat the Bears 10-7 for their first win of the season.
You know, I've got a lot of respect for the players on that team, especially the guys that I played with. And I know they're a good football team, but it's just nice to beat the guy that's running it.
Winning the Central Division starts with beating the Chicago Bears. They're still the Bears, and they're going to come in here to play. And they're a very physical team. And so we had to step our game up today, and we just were ready for the challenge.
Much more for the Viking locker room coming up next on Sunday Sports Wrap. It'll be Hank time. Henry Thomas will join me live, and so will the top amateur golfer in the nation, John Harris. Well, Reggie White was a little pumped up for the Pack today, going against his old team for the first time, and Reggie did make life miserable for Eagles quarterback Randall Cunningham. This is one of 2 fumbles he forced today. He was credited with 2 sacks, but it wasn't enough to get it done. Fourth quarter, Cunningham gets away from White, then goes deep to Victor Bailey. Watch this pass. It is a rifle. The Eagles later won it 20-17 on a field goal with 5 seconds to go. Now, there were 3 other buzzer beaters in the NFL in Week 2. The only unbeaten team in the Central Division won it on a late field goal. The Lions were in Foxborough for the Patriots home opener, and they scored on the opening kickoff. The fumble goes popping up in the air. Willie Clay picks it up and goes in for the touchdown. However, the Pats did not go down for the count until Jason Hansen booted this field goal in overtime. The Lions beat the Patriots 19-16. They are now 2-0. The Saints and the Falcons. Wade Wilson's found a home. Another big game for the Falcons today. He had 22 out of 34 for 341 yards, and this touchdown to Quinn Early, one of his 3 on the day. The Saints had 557 yards of total offense, but they didn't put it away until Morton Anderson nailed the 44-yarder. The Saints are 2-0 after a 34-31 win over the winless Falcons. Guess who else is winless? After 2 weeks, the team that's also Emmettless is winless. The Cowboys lost a rematch of the Super Bowl. Even Thurman Thomas was wearing number 2 to honor Emmitt Smith today, the holdout who wants $4 million. The Bills jumped out to a 7-0 lead. Jim Kelly hits Carwell Gardner for a 7-yard touchdown pass. The Cowboys trailed 13-10 under a minute left, but Troy Aikman's intercepted at the 2-yard line. The Bills beat Dallas 13-10. Why couldn't they do that back in January? After a big win last Monday night over Dallas, the Washington Redskins were dealt a crushing blow in Phoenix today. Second quarter, Mark Rippon suffered a sprained ligament in his right knee after taking this hit. Rippon will have tests done tomorrow to determine the extent of the injury. Phoenix won the game in a very physical one, 17-10. Elsewhere on the scoreboard, Indy with a late field goal beat Cincinnati. Joe Montana did not play as Houston blanked the Chiefs 30-0. The Giants over Tampa Bay 23-7. Maybe the upset of the day, the Rams blanked Pittsburgh 27-0. Another upset, the Jets over Miami. It was Denver beating San Diego, and the Raiders are now 2-0 after beating Seattle 17-13. There were plenty of upsets at this year's U.S. Open until the finals. Yesterday, Steffi Graf won. Today it was Pistol Pete Sampras. Another easy win for Sampras. In fact, he didn't even have to play a match. Well, the Twins said goodbye to a legend today. It was their last time to face future Hall of Famer Nolan Ryan. In Arlington, Texas, the Ryan Express was rolling early today. Here he'll get Kirby Puckett swinging at a high pitch, one of his 3 strikeouts for Ryan. But the Twins got to Ryan's for 3 runs in the 6th inning. David McCarty with a big RBI double. 2 runs will score in this RBI to the corner. Ryan left the game to a standing ovation from the Ranger fans. But the Twins spoiled his big day with a 4-2 win. One of the classiest guys in sports, Nolan Ryan. Elsewhere in the American League, Detroit doubled up on Chicago. It was California losing to Toronto. Kansas City big over New York, and Baltimore all over Oakland tonight, 14-5. In the National League, both the Braves and the Giants lost today. And in golf, David Frost won the Canadian Open. Sunday Sports Wrap coming up next on a TV very close to you right now.
Sounds like a good one.
Thanks, Joe.
Coming up next, Home Sweet Home, and we do mean sweet.
Now we'll take you along the parade of homes for a look at life in the fabulously rich lane. Stay with us.
Tonight, somewhere in Minnesota, a family may sleep a little better than they did the night before, simply because someone cared and listened to their financial dreams about college for their kids, providing for each other, and their plans for growing old together. They talked to a Farm Bureau agent about life insurance and learned how dreams don't always have to stay dreams. Life is filled with promises, and Farm Bureau Life Insurance can help you keep them.
The Bowers are getting their home equity installment loan from First Bank, not just because the bank will take their application by phone or get them the quick approval they need. The Bowers are going with First Bank because college costs have hit the roof. Remodeling requires an education in high finance, and First Bank will loan them 100% of the equity in their home.
No closing costs before October 29th. To apply by phone, call 1-800-444-1244.
Thanks for taking a swing at Channel 5's Beat the Pro Golf Tournament. Your efforts, together with top athletes and Beat the Pro sponsors, helped raise nearly $19,000 for the boys and girls clubs of Minneapolis and St. Paul.
And we couldn't have done it without you. Hi, I'm Joe Schmidt. Next year, we are going to be back on 10 great golf courses for another year of Beat the Pro for a great cause.
Yeah! We're Channel 5 and we're on your side.
Finally tonight, if you've been thinking about owning a dream home, you can always dream at the Parade of Homes.
Yeah, 500 homes are on display around the Twin Cities for the next 2 weeks. They are at all price ranges, but tonight we thought we would show you the most expensive one. Take a look at this beauty. It's on Lake Minnetonka in Orono. Yours for only $1.8 million.
I was just thinking, you know, you could lose your kids for days in a house like this. You'd never be able to find them if they decided to really hide from you. You could be chasing them, and by the time you got to one end, they'd be at the other end of the house.
The house features wide open spaces and very ornate fixtures and woodwork, and of course, a gorgeous view of Lake Minnetonka.
Oh, well, that's a must.
What a dream home.
That wraps up the late report of Eyewitness News. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Sunday Sports Wrap coming up next.